what you think about the offense tonight in this one?
I thought the offense was great, and I thought what I said and what you already touched on is that this team went back to sharing the basketball, man. It didn't feel like they were trying so hard just to create something out of nothing. This team was really taking opportunities of what the defense was giving them, and they were moving the ball efficiently too. I mean, how many times? I mean, look, Karl-Anthony Towns had 7 assists tonight,
Yeah.
CP. He embraced what Mike Brown was talking about and was a offensive hub, passing hub for them, working out of the high post, top of the key. I mean, look at the pass he got to OG Anunoby, just cutting down the lane, right? And just how about the lob he had to Mitchell Robinson, man? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Karl-Anthony Towns embracing that role, which is what Mike Brown had Sabonis doing out in Sacktown. So this is what you like to see from this offense. I mean, on top of that, you had multiple initiators once again. Bridges bringing the ball up, McBride bringing the ball up. It wasn't all reliant on Jalen Brunson just to get this offense going. And so you started to see this offense just flow naturally, and even guys working off ball as well. Once again, talk about OG, Bridges, guys just cutting. How about Brunson working off ball, utilizing a screen to
Yeah.
knock down the three at the top of the key? So this offense just fit right back into where it was, and why they were able to go on such a good winning streak, man, and look so dominant. They just went back to those simple principles, man. And I hope that they can just keep focused, do this against the top teams, man. And hopefully they can keep doing this against a team like Detroit, a team like Philly, even Boston. When we play them again, I think in March, you want to see this team continue to do that at a high level.
Yeah, for sure. As you said, yeah, you did see those wrinkles with Captain Clutch, with Jalen Brunson playing off ball, and that definitely served the Knicks well. And so just a great job by both of those guys, Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, just kind of leading the way for their team after the letdown in Detroit. And, it started off kind of slow, even for Cap, because he was in point guard mode. He was in facilitator mode. But in that third quarter, he flipped the switch. He flipped the switch very well, and that's when things really started to open up for him. I don't recall off the top of my head how many he scored in that fourth, but it had to have been double digits. If I'm just looking at the raw box score here, had to have been at least 12 of the 26 coming by way of the fourth, and it was really just Cap just getting to his spots, man, rising up and scoring with relative ease. And I thought that, because the Clippers were right there, this one was going back and forth. It was an entertaining game. Kawhi setting the tone, harden up to his theatrics and all of that. And so there was a lot of lead changes, a lot of back and forths. So that's why in that second half, when Jalen starts to cook, I thought that kind of set the sails really for the Knicks to kind of, not take over the game, but just kind of get them in a bit more of a groove and a comfort zone to take it home.
Yeah, look, it was Jalen Brunson certainly in the fourth quarter. And how about Karl-Anthony Towns? I mean, look, Cat didn't have the greatest start to an offensive night, but nonetheless, he did end it very strong, man. I mean, outside of just being a facilitator, he also got it going by getting to the free throw line. I mean, he went 8 of 10 from the free throw line tonight. I know the efficiency from the field, 6 of 18, isn't looking stellar, but he did just enough by playing physical and slowing the game down to put the Knicks in position where you needed to. We always had that conversation with when you had Tibbs here and it was Julius and Brunson, where these guys would get to the free throw line relentlessly, slow the game down and keep themselves in it and work that slow pace. And against the Clippers team that, look, let's keep it real, they dominated for most of this game tonight. I mean, it looked like the Clippers had it through the second and third quarter, CP. Wasn't until things changed in the fourth. And by that metric, you need to slow that down. You need to get back in position. And I think Karl-Anthony Towns with Jalen Brunson were capable of doing that tonight in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, 11 points for Jalen in the third, and then he would leave this game to start the fourth. I don't believe he was in the game in the fourth. I think he had hit the bench. Kolek was in at that time, and to me, this is where Karl-Anthony Towns, as you said, he starts opening up in the fourth, but it's those minutes with Tyler, man. Like I talked about it the other day, especially with Towns struggling to find offense and to find his fit with this team and with this offense. You needed a natural playmaker. I think that the Tyler connection with Karl, you're seeing it become better and better by the game, and I think this is a very important moment and time for Karl as he tries to, just find his way here, just playing alongside a playmaker that can really settle things down for the team is big. And that's why I thought Tyler was huge tonight. 5 dimes tonight for Tyler. and really giving that second unit what it needed, which was somebody to organize the offense and play make. And I thought Tyler Kolek was sensational tonight in that regard.
Yeah, man. How about those slip screens that he had, man? Those pocket passes.
Yeah.
Just guys cutting the line. That's what you need, as you pointed out, CPN. Just great to see. Because look, I'm not expecting him to be, the most consistent guy on a night-to-night basis just because he's still young in this league. This is really his first time getting this much extensive minutes throughout a regular season. So he's going to have his ups and downs. But in games like this, you do like it, especially when you need to just give Brunson a breather, okay? You saw Brunson shoulder a lot of the load the last couple of games, being the playmaker, being the scorer. Nice to see Kolek come back out here and relieve him of some of those playmaking duties. And as you mentioned, man, him and Cat, there's just a really good connection out there. And I know, look, the same thing as we saw last year, you want Cat to be the guy with the second unit. Mike Brown is doing that same thing that Tibbs had Towns doing last year, where second units out there, it's meant to be for Towns, right? He's meant to be the focal point and be that offensive charge. But to see him work with Kolek and needing like a point guard, it's good to see that they have a budding chemistry right now. This was a great accountability game for Towns because, look, you want to see that one of your stars is more than capable of being a leader on this team, especially when you need that offensive production. And once again, even though the field goal percentage is 6 of 18, it's not the most efficient that we've seen Towns. He did it in another way. He was able to stay physical, get the calls, stay composed, and 8 for 10 from the free throw line, CP, to get those extra 8 points, to get him to 20 points, was certainly needed just to start to create that separation in the fourth quarter from the Clippers. All right, you needed all of that because Clippers, look, Kawhi Leonard, he's been on a tear recently. Same thing with James Harden. Zubac was having his way with everybody tonight, as you mentioned. So, like, Zubac had 22 points, all right? And he was outworking Towns for a good portion of the game, too.
Yeah.
So, look, I thought it was very critical for Towns to stay composed in this one. And look, when you stay composed, you don't do silly things, you get rewarded with playing very well. I mean, look, only one foul tonight for Karl-Anthony Towns tonight, man.
Yeah.
Only one foul. None of the silly theatrics
And it was
from
late.
his end.
It was late. It was like third, fourth quarter, right?
Exactly. It was late in the game, too. So very composed from Cat. And you see and hopefully, like, this is what we see. This is what we know, man. Like, he is that talent. We know he can get these points. And when he's this composed, you see how important he is. We know about the gravity. We know about everything else. But the whole coaching staff doesn't have to change the entire game plan. It's not like, oh, 2 quick fouls. Now we got to figure something out. Because if he's out, right, now you got to rely on Mitchell Robinson, who's on a minutes restriction.
Yeah.
Maybe you do bring in Huck Porty tonight, even though Yabu did have some solid minutes tonight. This is probably Yabu's best game of the season. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, where do we go from here? So, Towns, look at this game and use this as an example when you play composed, when you play, what's the right word for this? I guess it's just composed at this point.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting the other word I want to use, but like just playing with composure, man, just takes it a long way.
And speaking of the big bodega, here he was with our guy Han Solo after the game for his post-game interview, courtesy of MSG Networks. Here goes Karl-Anthony Towns.
Well, Cat, was that more like the Knicks that we have mostly seen throughout this season?
I think we did a good job. We took control of the game in the fourth, and that's what was really important for us. I think it's something we've always done. So great to get a win, get back on track, but consistency is the biggest thing. So now we got to make it a 2-game winning streak next game.
What was it for you? What was an adjustment for you? What was something that you had to do going into this game?
Well, I think the starters shoot more than 4 shots, so I think I did that tonight, so that was a good start. And just try to be aggressive and then be aggressive at playmaking and impact winning. And I thought we did a good job of that tonight as a team, finding a way to win.
32 assists for the team in this game today. What did you like most about the team's performance overall?
That we had 32 assists. That's much different contrast from last game. We had a low assist game, and it resulted in us losing in a bad way. So today, I think we did a great job of just passing the ball around, getting everyone involved, and it led to a great win here at home.
All right, that was a big bodega. Karl-Anthony Towns after the game says the 32 assists was the highlight in this one. And, yeah, as we said at the top of the show, Knicks really the ball movement was just evident. From the opening tip, they were aggressive. All of the ball handlers, everybody attacking the paint, from Jalen to Deuce to Mikal Bridges, everybody getting those paint touches, the drive and sprays, getting deep into that Clipper defense and forcing the defense into rotations. Now, tonight's matchup, much more favorable from a size and speed standpoint. But, hey, the Clippers playing very well, as you said, Al, hot team and a good defense in their own right. Knicks got to work tonight, though.
Miles Deuce McBride.
Okay.
Deuce.
Okay.
All right. 6 of 15 from the field, 4 of 11 from downtown. My guy's become a sniper at this point. All right. And look, and defensively, we already know what he can do. He was defending against James Harden while he was out there. He was in the starting rotation tonight. And we know what he gives you on the defense from a perimeter standpoint, and especially a guy who will pick up 94 feet as well. He will just be that pest for anybody who's going to be an initiator, the main ball handler, whatever. But his shooting has come around so much, CP, where it's like he is a legitimate floor spacer no matter who he's with, okay? And the catch and shoot, the vertical that he gets, man, just to get like, it's like a quarterback. You know how like in the NFL they're like, oh, we need a 6'6" quarterback so he can see over the line. Somehow McBride has learned to jump that high where he feels like he's doing that and just surveying the land over offensive linemen when he does his jump shot. So I'm going with McBride tonight, man. Just an absolute sniper from downtown. Once again, look, I know it's 4 of 11, but shooting 36%, that's a good percentage. That's a good average for an entire league, man. So I'm going to go with McBride, though.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Deuce, give credit to Deuce. Deuce really set a good tone for the team, especially in that second quarter where he had 11 of his 16 points in that period. And as you said, Deuce just not afraid to let it fly at any moment, any angle, anywhere on the court. And that is where Deuce comes in handy for this team, just being the sniper, as you said. Let's get to the key stats of the night, Al. Let's take a look at how this thing went down. So to everybody in the chat, we will take callers after this. Callers coming up. STG with the Garden Report coming up. Number one show for the fans by the fans. Home of 100,000 subscribers. Knicks shoot 50% from the field tonight, Al. 43 for the Clippers. 42% from downtown. So Knicks have been shooting the ball efficiently over these last couple of games, and including 88% from the charity stripe. Only missed 2 free throws. 17 attempts for the Knicks, 19 for the Clippers. Clippers shoot 84 from the charity stripe. Knicks get back on the rebounding battle, even though Zubac was a lot to handle. Knicks still did win the rebounding battle, 48-40. I have to think that most of these came in the second half. It just seemed like both Karl and Mitch were much more under control of the boards over Zubac. Zubac did pick up his 4th foul in the game, and so that kind of limited him. But so I thought, at least from the eye test, it seemed like the Knicks bigs got the best of them in the second half. Assist-wise, as we talked about, 31 assists for the Knicks to 21 for the Clippers. Turnovers. Limited to turnover damage. This has been a big one for the Knicks over the losing streak, was the high turnovers and the points off of turnovers. But tonight, they did well. 12 turnovers tonight led to 8 Clipper points. And conversely, Clippers did well. 10 Clipper turnovers led to only 11 Knick points. Fast break paddle. Clippers won that one 9-8. Points in the paint. Knicks got back to it 54-44. And largest lead of the night, 15 for the Knicks, 9 for the Clippers. Knicks led 33% of the time compared to 59% for the Clippers. Your thoughts?
Biggest one that stood out to me, CP, was the rebounding battle. When they win the rebounding battle, man, the Knicks are usually in the driver's seat to winning these games. And you mentioned that it was probably in the second half where they had, the big rebounding performance. And you're right, it was the second half. In the second half, the Clippers had 19 boards. The Knicks, on the other hand, had 28. So they were out hustling the Clippers, especially on the offensive glass, man. I mean, look, Mitch got 3. Towns got 3, Bridges got 1, McBride even got an offensive board, Porty got an offensive board. I know that was late in that quarter, but like still, the fact that the Knicks were able to get 9 offensive boards in that second half, that's critical, man. When you think about second chance opportunities, think about points in the paint, that's where they really need to take advantage of this team, and that's what they were able to do. So I liked the rebounding battle as the stat that stood out to me. And then on top of that, big one was just shooting. Like when you get to knock down your free throws, man, because this team has had some poor nights of shooting from the charity stripe. Knocking down 88% of your free throws, that's just going to lead to a lot of success if you continue that. Winning the rebounding battle and knocking down free throws, those are my two big things for them.
True indeed. Shout out Armand Dutta, just gifted 10 Fanchise channel memberships in the chat. So shout out to Armand, and we're going to shout out to those channel members in just a bit. My key stat, the assists, easily. 31 dimes for the Knicks. And assists aren't the true indicator of ball movement, because you can still be moving the ball as well as you can and generating good shots and be bricking, and you don't get the assists. But tonight they got everything. Their overall flow was fantastic. I thought it was good, and it was a good sign to see them getting right to it from the opening tip. And Cap set the tone. You're the captain, you're the leader, you're the best player of the team. It is a tricky balance. I've been saying it since he got here. Before he even played one game for the Knicks, I said how he balances the scoring and the facilitating is going to be key for him. And, sometimes it can get lopsided. But the thing about Cap is he's a man of accountability. He sees where things goes wrong, and he always tries to correct himself the next time. And tonight, he was on point. He set his teammates up. He delayed his scoring until it was needed, which came in the third. But 7 assists for Cap. He had 7 assists for Karl-Anthony Towns, 5 for Tyler Kolek. Overall, I just thought the Knicks offense did a great job of getting the driving sprays, getting deep into that paint, and everything flowed from there. Just overall good job on the ball movement side of things, man. Okay. All right, man. So, listen, man, that was the key stats of the night, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you guys by SeatGeek, the number one rated ticketing app for KFTV and the number one rating ticketing app overall. Why? Because it's just very easy. You just go to SeatGeek.com or you use the SeatGeek app. You type in whatever Knick game you want to go to. If you want to go out to Phoenix, you type in Knicks versus Suns, and you look for your tickets. Typically, you want to look for the green dots. Those will indicate from amazing down to good deals. You get the most bang for your buck and good value. The red dots typically mean stay away from them. You're going to get jerked. You don't want to do that unless you're really desperate. Real simple code, and use our code, KFTV10, for 10% off your order.
I'm feeling good. I think, the losing streak's done, so I think that means we're going back to the finals. So I think that's pretty good.
We back. Absolutely.
For sure. But it still was good to see the guys get back on track tonight. I thought the crowd lifted them up early on. They fell down. I was getting a little nervous right away off the bat. They fell down by 9. I was like, oh, God. But then they called a timeout, regrouped, and they came out strong. It was really nice to see Brunson super efficient tonight, too. We didn't really talk about him too much, but he was 9 of 12 from the field. I thought he wasn't, trying to really do too much. I thought the game kind of came to him, which was nice to see.
26 on 12 shots. 12 shots, STG.
Yes.
No, I said he took 12 shots. He took 12 shots.
Oh, yeah. 9 of 12, yeah. Did a good job of letting the game come to him. And then one thing that I continue to see, I thought Towns had a pretty rough first half, but he got better as the game went on. But still, the three-pointer is just not there. I think he was 0 for 4 from 3, but the looks were good looks, I thought. Some of them he had from 3 they were wide open. It's just short right now in the front of the rim. And I think he's down to 34%, basically a career low for his career. So hopefully that starts to get up. But now that we're headed into, middle of January almost, and it's still not coming up, I don't know if it's going to come back up much more. And also, you kind of touched on it before, but Deuce McBride, usually when he goes down with injuries, it takes a little bit for him to get back into it. But like Alex said, in those 6 games since injury, shooting 48% from 3, he hasn't really missed much of a beat. And then also, and one other thing too, I thought the refs were kind of iffy. Like Harden got called on some fouls. I was like, it didn't look like he got hit that much.
Yeah. You kind of know it. You kind of know to deal with them anyway,
Oh yeah, for sure. And I do like the adjustments they made on Kawhi because you said 21 in the first half, and then they did a good job of him in the second half. I thought, OG's best game probably since the Cup. So
Yeah.
hopefully now they take this momentum on the road.